Entrevistas Alfa.
Hola, yo soy Andrea Tassier de Alfa 91.3 y estoy muy emocionada porque estoy con un artista que ha logrado crear mundos increíbles dentro de su música. Así es, estoy con Suburban.
That's me.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling underslept, but so ready. Ready to finally give a show in Mexico. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And this is a fantastic opportunity. I don't know how this happened. I'm so excited.
Have you ever heard about the audience in Mexico?
What do you mean?
That, like, the audiences in Mexico really go crazy?
They love hooks.
Yeah.
They love music, actually, I'd say.
Yeah. So are you excited about that?
I want to put faces to the strange numbers that I keep seeing on Spotify. This is going to be a good show. I'm really excited.
It's going to be a good show. Yeah. So I want to start from the beginning with this interview. You talk about like your first years. You say that you were kind of creative limbo, in which you would lock yourself and experiment and do music. Mm-hmm. What do you feel that has changed from that person to the person that you're now?
Creative limbo was, what is this in reference to? When I was a teenager, or
when you started, like when you left school and you you locked yourself to create music on your own, and you were doing a lot of experimental music, experimental things.
I just was making what I felt needed to be made. I mean, with the ability that I had back then. I have a lot more ability than I did back then. That's what's changed. I'm practiced and much more technically able than I was back then. Back then I was just grabbing at sounds just running things through effects, and that was really the experimentation. It was like, here's this whole digital capability of Ableton and this emerging market of electronic music, underground electronic music, and I was paying really hard attention to all this crazy culture that no one was looking at for a second, and it bled into the mainstream. But I actually only feel like recently the stuff I was listening to back in 2016 has reached a major form. Like Witch House, funk was something that I actually understood, but like with a lot of the crazy Memphis stuff that I used to listen to. Also just like with dance music in general, it's having a crazy revitality within pop music, and it's fun to see, but I'm here for the next thing, and I really am always trying to find the next thing, which is way harder right now because the internet is a horrible landscape to crawl through. Yeah,
we're gonna go and talk about that later.
Cool.
So in that beginning, obviously things were very different. Mm-hmm. You didn't have, people had no expectations or anything because they really didn't know you.
It's freeing for sure.
Yeah. So do you miss anything about that time?
Yeah, I miss not having the weight of maybe something a lot bigger than myself, which is the songs that I've connected with people through Suburban. I feel like the first step in making something, I have so many choices. So I am overwhelmed by what I am capable of making, what I could execute, and what's available to me sound-wise. And I'm always scared to take that first step because it's like, I need this to be the most sincere thing possible. I can't make pop music anymore. I need something that reflects me as an individual. Otherwise, I will lose it. And I lost it when I first entered in the industry. And I really feel like I finally am finding that same motion that I had as a teenager, that creative freedom, really just going for it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So maybe comparing that teenage self and the person that you're right now, what do you like about you right now, about the person that you are right now?
I definitely am stronger. Back then I was a wimp. I was a cockroach, really. I dropped out of high school. I was completely desocialized. My 19 was your 15. I had no idea what the hell I was doing when I came to Los Angeles, and the industry took me for a whirl, and now I know what I want. I know the people that I want to be around. I know the people I don't want to be around. And I can see very clearly through facades that may have not been as clear back then. And my intention is just to make good music, make great music, and give a great show. And that is something that I need everyone around me to align with. And I feel like I wasn't capable of commanding that ship before, but now I am commanding that ship, and there's a wonderful feeling to have like-minded people around me who just want to birth something that hasn't seen the light of day before.
That's amazing. I know that you were trained in classical music.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you at some point decided to stop playing piano because you wanted to write your own music, right?
Yeah, I think I said this once. I got very tired of playing, other composers' songs. I wanted to write my own songs, and that's what I did from like the age of 7 to probably, until now technically, but it wasn't until, 15 I was like, the piano's obsolete. We have VSTs now. I was an idiot. I should have kept playing piano, because now more than ever, physical instruments are so much more valuable.
Yeah.
People have music has gotten so democratized that it's like, it's too easy for a lot of people, and because of that, you're seeing a lot of artists that back in the day, if the technology wasn't available, wouldn't have been committed enough to get to the forefront of music. So that's why we're not seeing as much of artist development stories, because the music has become very disposable.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you had to, spend a lot of money on a physical record. And if it was a bad record, that was probably such a punishing feeling. I know it was for my father, who grew up he saw the Beatles in concert. Now, it's like window shopping. It's like, oh, I hear 15 seconds of a hook, and I like it or I don't, and I listen to it for a week. And because of that, alongside the AI, Suno bullshit that's happening, it's the live music matters more than ever, and COVID deprived me of that opportunity, but tomorrow, this is just the start. This is just the start, and I just want to connect with people.
I also think that this contrast between classical music and who you are right now is really crazy, because they're complete opposites. But I'm really curious on how the training in classical music actually kind of molded you into becoming the person that you are right now, or maybe you completely decided to give up on that and just turn yourself into the person that you wanted to become without the training.
I think all of it is subliminal. I think that it's just the conditioning of being in an environment where you're hearing a certain type of sound over and over and over again. That trained my essential melody or melodic understanding, harmonic understanding. And I feel as though it's relevant, but it's almost irrelevant because I didn't really choose it. It just happened.
Okay.
And the way that I apply it in the current music is, I think, very theatrical in a way that is almost ironic, because it's electronic music. It's like human versus inhuman, Baroque versus distortion, and it's I like contrast. I think the basis of most musical hooks is contrast, and I think that's how I found my contrast.
I really like that.
Thank you.
And it actually feels like the contrast, you can actually feel it in everything that you make.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like you create worlds that are made of contrasts, between the beautiful and maybe the bizarre.
The bizarre is a great way to put it, yeah.
Yeah. So now you have 3 albums, right?
2 technically. If
Well.
Nevermore was my second one, but Thrill Seeker is an EP. That one, a lot of people consider it the first album.
Yeah. I was considering it a first album.
Thrill Seeker is actually funny. That one, originally the concept was going to be full carnival music, and then because of the success that Cradles had, we rushed it out, and I actually really deeply regret a lot of the decisions that were not I did not make on that.
Yeah.
And then I fully regret that one. I feel like everything besides the very end of the outro song, when I finally like started waking up, I was like, oh. And then, funny fact about that, the outro song Heathen, that outro was made in the same project as the intro on If Nevermore, Mycelium Eyes. The same Ableton project. So it was a very like real time moment that I just like started changing sounds. Anyways, I went on a tangent. What were you asking?
So I think it's really interesting that you were saying like this theatrical thing, because
Yeah.
you can actually really feel it in your music and in every different version of yourself, like all these versions that you have. So I was thinking about maybe if these versions were people, different people, and you put them together in the same room, what would they feel about each other? Would they get along? Would they fight?
I think they would all despise each other. It's hilarious that you put it that way, because it is kind of, identity is a dominion amongst truths that you pick up at different points in your life.
Yeah.
So I kind of like to think of it as maybe not a fight between a bunch of people, but oak tree rings, where you have your central ring and then the ring outside of that. And sometimes that central ring can be, yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I get it. So I know you've grown a lot and you've evolved and you've learned a lot of things, but you've also kind of left some things in the past. So I'm really curious on maybe what is one thing that has stayed with you from the beginning that you haven't left behind?
I think something that I've realized about my music and all the topics that are strong within the music, not the things that are very vulnerable in my music, are all unresolved issues. And I believe those unresolved issues are the human condition, and that's what connects people to the music. It's things that, there's no such thing as perfection, right? There's like constantly this bout and these ebbs and flows of like, oh, I'm good right now. Oh, my life is horrific right now. Oh no, but I'm good right now. It's always a wave, a constant waveform. And I think that the music is always connected deeply to those unresolved moments that define you as a human being. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually something that I wanted to talk about, because this new chapter, I'd call it a new chapter, right? With your,
I like it. Thank you.
Yeah, with If Nevermore, this new chapter. What are maybe the emotions that actually fueled it, or I mean, like the new sounds or the new emotions that fueled you into making this album possible?
I think most of it has to do with loneliness, actually. A lack of ability to commit, and maybe more of a reflection on that ability to commit. But it's very much a psychedelic thing. Most of it is subliminal in the ways that I didn't think when I made a lot of it. There wasn't, the things that I kept were always things that I didn't think about. I just acted on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. That you can actually follow your free will into creating whatever is going inside of you.
I think free will is honestly one of the biggest things, actually. It's cool that you said that, but the realization of free will and sort of rebirth of identity, and that sort of facade shedding. A lot of visuals of biology, I think, that I used in this, just the constant theme of water and sort of a petri dish of bacteria fighting for claim.
Something that I really love about your work is all the imagery and all the images, and I think they are amazing. So
Thank you.
I'm really curious, because I feel like you create worlds in your songs, and they all have like their own universe and their own creatures. So whenever you're writing your songs, do you think about these universes, or maybe the universes come after you writing the songs?
The universes are totally just things that come after the song. I think they're just tangible moments that are really what you're hearing is just emotion. That is, I'm trying to carve a very specific emotion. I think there's so many emotions that are there, but people just need to find them and reach out to them. I think that the visual aspect of it and the world building is just a conduction of those emotions, something that makes it clearer, more senses are involved, so it's like more clear to the people that hear it.
And do you find it like a hard process translating your music into visual artistic landscapes?
No, it's pretty automatic. If it's difficult, it's usually because I don't feel as though the song needs a visual. But there's always something. I mean, there's always something that can go for any song.
Okay. So looking ahead, I know that it's really soon right now because your latest album just came out.
Yeah.
But there are still a lot of things that you could experiment on. So I'm really curious, like, what are the doors that you would like to open for yourself to experiment in the future?
I think I started with, honestly, identifying the first genre that I really sort of defined my initial career was trip hop. A lot of people don't think of it that way. They all identify as dark pop or whatever the hell was like close to it at the time. But no, I was paying attention to trip hop, and I think that this last record had a lot of punk spirit. There's a lot of dance music on it. I still have some dance music that I'm sure to make, but I think I'm very focused on I think what I think is new trip hop.
Great.
And Mercury is I think the first step of that. I like to think of maybe like a child movie of finding these artifacts across the world, and Mercury might be the first artifact of this next project that I'm going to bestow upon myself.
So we're running out of time. So I have just one
course.
last question for you. If people were to discover your music in 10 years and they would just start listening to every single song of yours, what do you think what would you like them to keep from you?
Damn, that's hard. I'd want them to feel it. That's all. I just want them to feel it.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time and the conversation. I wanted to talk a lot more time with you.
Of course.
But we ran out of time. So thank you so much
appreciate it.
for the
Thank you for having me.
conversation. It was really interesting to get into your crazy worlds.
Thank you.
Y para todos los que nos están viendo, por favor no se pierdan el álbum If Nevermore de Suburban.
Entrevistas Alfa.